we didn't get to talk about Kendrick and the pop out.
Some people are calling it Juneteenth. I've also heard it referred to or seen it referred
Oh
to as
shit!
Renaissance.
Oh my god!
Like
Who said
like
that?
instead of Renaissance, Niggasance.
Who said that? That is hilarious. Gang team.
Juneteenth.
Yo, gang team is too funny.
Yeah, it's better than the other one. Um,
Yeah,
it's been called a lot of different things, but that was my Juneteenth was my favorite.
I didn't see that. That's great. That's golden right there.
Yeah, it was good. It was good. I said, oh,
Gang
okay,
team.
y'all are having fun. Y'all
They
are
are.
having a lot of fun.
They are.
Oh my gosh! And you know who else had fun?
Kendrick.
Kendrick Lamar had fun.
Kendrick had mad fun.
Kendrick
Too much
said,
fun.
Kendrick.
Oh, I do want to put my glasses on for a second. I have the set list,
Okay. Kendrick
which
said,
you
listen.
probably want to reference.
Kendrick said, listen. I want everybody to come here and have a good time. I want my homies over there to come. I want my homies over there to come. I want my homies in the back to show up. I want
All of them.
everybody that I know in my fair city, close and distant. I want all of them in the building
That's
tonight.
what he said.
That's what Kendrick said. And that's what Kendrick did. Okay. And so I did not see. So let's start from the beginning before we even get to Kendrick because it wasn't just him. It was called the Pop Out, Ken and Friends. Um,
Yep.
and it started with a DJ set, not Mustard, but it started with another DJ set, which we missed because we were recording the pod. So
Yes.
we did not see the beginning of the show.
The first DJ, right?
We didn't see the first DJ. I believe his name was like DJ Head or something like that.
Yeah,
Um,
probably. Because that sounds about right.
yeah,
Because
and
he's
then
the one
Must
that was referencing during the beef. He was referencing that new Kendrick. Kendrick was going to respond, and certain things were going
yeah,
on.
right. So that happened. So I have no context there. I mean, I'm sure he was great. By the way the rest of the show went, I can't imagine that was any less than entertaining. So, but that part we did. I know neither of us saw.
Right.
But by the time we were done potting,
Oh yeah, we tuned right in.
I went and hopped onto Amazon Prime, and they were just getting ready for Mustard to come out.
Yep.
So Mustard comes out, and it's Mustard and Friends.
It was Mustard and Friends.
Um, he played a lot of our faves. He played a lot of DJ Mustard classics.
But before that, he got right to hyping up the crowd.
He
Because
did,
before he even started playing any of his records, he just started playing the joints.
yeah, yeah. Well, I thought the joints he was playing were his records, though.
He was playing Back That Ass Up and Niggas in
Oh,
Paris and
he
stuff
did. You're
like
right.
that.
You're right. You're right. You're right. He did. He did.
He hyped the crowd up. Then
He,
he said, all right, let's play some stuff I did.
right. Yeah.
Then he played
Sorry.
some stuff he did. Then he started bringing cats out.
Yes, he played some Mustard lore. He played some Mustard from, he hopped on the Wayback Machine. I mean, it's probably not that far back, but he went back a little bit. And then
Yeah.
as he moved forward, he brought out some folks. I didn't know everybody he brought out. I knew some.
Same.
Mainly by their music, not necessarily by their name.
Okay.
You know who I did like though, that I
Who that?
didn't know about? I think his name was Dom Kennedy?
Don Kennedy, yeah.
Don Kennedy. I liked him. I thought he was dope. I didn't know what to expect. I get really frustrated watching things like this when people who I don't know or I've never experienced come out because I feel like there's like a break in the
Oh, you're right.
excitement.
Dom, DOM.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Um,
sorry.
I feel like there's a break in the excitement sometimes when you're watching something and you're really engaged, and then someone comes on who you don't know, and you're like, oh, okay.
You're like, who is
And it kind
this?
of right, and
Mhm.
it kind of
What's
brings
going
you
on here?
down a little bit. Like you lose that momentum. I didn't feel that way with this. I felt like, oh, this was all of it was exciting, made you want to get up and dance. I don't pay a particular amount of attention to LA talent. So I thought this was I thought this was cool, especially for me, someone who I can attest to my New York bias. I feel like it was really cool to watch something like this because I learned about some people that I didn't know. And again, some of them I did recognize the music and I was like, "Oh, okay." But I thought that was what made Mustard's set really cool is that I feel like I learned some things and also I was like, oh, I've heard this before. This is cool.
Right.
What did you think of Mustard?
I thought it was good, and I didn't expect some of the people who came out. I didn't know he was close to YG. That was cool.
Mhm.
Um, he said they lived across the street, and they was trying to get to it. And I
Yeah,
thought that
yeah.
was that was pretty fly. I know people were excited when Tyler the Creator came out. That was cool. He's very animated, and that was funny. I instantly knew who it was when he came out. I'm like, oh, look at Tyler.
You know what
Tyler
they
about
said
to
was
go
my
crazy.
least favorite?
Oh, okay. Yeah, he brought out also we saw Ty Dolla Sign. That was cool. Cool to see him do a little bit of his live music. That was dope.
Yeah, yeah.
I thought he did good. I mean, I thought Mustard came out swinging because I
He
didn't
did.
know he was bringing out people. But like I said, he came out playing the joints.
He did.
And he was not. In fact, he knew he was playing the joints. He said, "You know what? I'm ODing. Let me get into some R&B real quick."
Hmm.
So I thought he did really well, hyping up the crowd, putting on a good show, bringing out some of his friends, and then getting us ready for Kendrick.
Yeah. And then Kendrick came out. And I know you missed the very beginning of Kendrick. I don't know if you've gone back and looked for
Oh,
that.
I went back and found it.
Oh, you found it. So you know that he started with Euphoria.
Yeah, I got. That's part of why I pulled up the set list.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sure people who watch this watch the show, but
Before
in
he even
case,
oh sorry, go
oh
ahead.
no, you first.
I was gonna say before he even gets on stage in that little that intermediate space, that intermission, I guess that was happening between Mustard and Kendrick, people start chanting OV Ho.
It was when they dimmed the lights because Cats knew Kendrick was about to come out.
Was it when they? I thought it was before they dimmed the lights. They started, but it
Nah,
was
because I
just they
saw.
was just really low,
Oh, okay.
and then it got louder. It kept getting louder, and then yeah, I think eventually they did dim the lights. But I'm almost certain that they were doing it before the lights were dimmed.
Oh, okay. Because what I saw was uh footage of academics stream, and when they hit the lights, everybody started shouting. And at first, it's just like one person really loud. It's like, "Oh, yeah!" And academics is like, somebody just shout, "Obi ho." That was crazy. And then you hear mad people start chanting, and the chanting getting louder, louder, and louder, and louder. And then out comes Kendrick.
Right. So Kendrick didn't come out the way I saw it, and it also might have been edited since it happened. But the the way I'm remembering it is Kendrick didn't come out right away after they start chanting "OV Ho," and then maybe they calm down a little bit and then start up again when the lights dim. I feel like that's what happened, but
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. I could be making things up. It was several days ago, and
It was 2 days ago.
all right. You didn't have to correct me. When I said several, I realized that was probably extreme. But no, Yeah, I don't. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm sure someone will.
Or maybe you're right. I'm the one that missed it and had to go back, so maybe you're right. But anyway,
Mhm.
Kendrick's set list was Euphoria, DNA, Element, All Right, Swimming Pools, Money Trees, Win, which is J Rock's song, or featuring J Rock. I think it's J Rock's song, to be honest. Anyway, uh, King's Dead, 616 in LA, which he only did half of, but we'll get to it. Then Schoolboy Q came out and joined them. They did Collard Greens, that part, King Kunta, Mad City, Humble, Like That. And then he brought out good old Dr. Dre, which we'll get back to. But him and Dr. Dre did Still Dre and then California Love. And we'll pause right there and we'll come back to the set list. Because after that, something wild happened. But we'll pump the brakes and we'll get back to what the wild thing that happened. So what you think about this set list as you were watching it?
I thought it was great. I didn't have any complaints. I don't think I'm. I don't think I've ever. Um, I don't think I deserve to say what Kendrick should or should not have done.
Okay.
Um, I think there are people who know better his catalog. So if people have opinions on what should or should not have been there, I'll leave that to the experts. But I'll say that I enjoyed it from beginning to end. I had no issues with any of it. I thought he came out, he did his thing. Um, I like Schoolboy Q. I've seen Schoolboy Q perform live actually, so I thought that was
Oh,
cool seeing
nice.
him come out. Um, I don't know if it's a fun fact, odd fact. Schoolboy Q was best friends with Deborah Lee, former CEO of BET. Her son and Schoolboy Q were good friends.
Okay.
So he used to perform at BET events because
Okay.
he used to get the connect through there. I say, and I'm speaking as past tense because her son did pass away a couple years ago, but yeah, so that's how I got introduced to Schoolboy Q maybe a decade ago.
Okay.
Um, but I always thought he was dope. I guess I never really thought about the fact that there's all those LA connections. Like I said, I'm not, I don't know too much about that, but I thought that was cool. It was nice seeing him perform. I didn't know everybody who was on stage, but he was the one person who I recognized when Kendrick brought out, um, what did they call? Somebody called it, Black Hippie. Was that their group?
I don't have all the Black Hippie information, so I don't want to misspeak. I can look it up if you want.
You don't have to look it up.
But
I think it was Josh who posted it, so that's why I remember. But I don't think we need to dive too deep into that. I think if people want to know more about that, um they should feel free to look it up. But I thought it was cool. I thought, yes, up to that point where California Love was on, that was cool. I mean, Dr. Dre is um California Love and Still Dre are classics. Um, it's hard not to get excited when you hear those songs.
right.
So, um, and I guess that's what I think of when I think of like West Coast rap. I think of things like that. I was disappointed. I thought maybe Snoop was gonna come out, but he
I
didn't.
thought that too. And yeah, Black Hippie is basically TDE. It says here, I'm looking at Google. Schoolboy Q, Absol, Kendrick Lamar, and J Rock. That was TDE's um roster for the most part. I mean, you got SZA, a few other people, but
Mhm.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I just know I had seen them referred to as that, so I called it out. But yeah, what about you?
It says they were a supergroup, but
Oh
the
yeah,
members met and began collaborating after signing to the independent music label Top Dog Entertainment. I've heard the name. I don't know their music as a group. I've heard their features together. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like I know their music as a collective. I don't. I don't know if they've put out music as a collective. They probably have if it's calling them a super group. But I do know J Rock's the records that they did from J Rock. Win 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 was a big record.
I remember that.
Uh, yeah, that was a big record. And Absol is dope. I listen to Absol. Um, and obviously I listen to Kendrick. Yeah, I thought it was great that he was able to bring them out. Um, it was nice to see them, standing together
Yeah,
after all the rumors of Kendrick's relationship with Top Dog, Kendrick's relationship with the TDE family, quote unquote. There were lots of rumors since he started PG Lang and left the label that, they weren't allowing him to do certain things. And even the Drake beef, he'd been wanting to do it, and Top Dog told him no. And, perhaps it was a bad fallout. And then when the diss records came out, people said, oh, I guess the rumors were wrong because he mentions Top. Um, but it's still always nice to see it with your own eyes and see that, oh yeah, these guys, he brought out his peoples, he gave them some shine, because he didn't have to. It was a Kendrick show. He didn't have to bring anybody out. I don't think there was an expectation that he was bringing them out. We just didn't know who Friends was. Um, so I thought it was good to see them standing in solidarity, even though they kind of already did that during the battle. But I don't think everybody really knew that across the board. And so this is a good way to say, like, yo, we're still homies. We still, we're still close, and we still rock out. So I thought that was really cool to see. The performances were great. I was a little, I when I was told that he did Euphoria and I missed it, I was upset, especially because I thought he did the whole thing. I was like, yo, to see him do the whole 6 minutes would have been crazy. I now know he didn't do the whole thing, but he did a nice portion of it.
mhm.
Still super fly, smart way to come out. I think it's interesting that he did most of the battle records in some fashion, um, because I didn't expect that. To be honest, I thought for sure he was gonna do Not Like Us, um, but I didn't think he was gonna do the other ones. And so I thought it was cool. He did about half, or he did that first front portion of 616 in LA. He spared Ack. He didn't mention Ack on stage,
He spared the
and
brand.
he said, well, listen, if he
That
would have
is
came out
crazy.
there and did Meet the Grams, that would have been absolutely nuts. But
Yeah, I
I
agree.
don't think it would have fit well because he wasn't really doing dark, eerie music.
Yeah,
So
and I just feel like that wasn't the. I feel like that song wasn't the vibe he was going for.
right,
Like you said, it wasn't dark and eerie, but also like the content of that song is very very specific.
yeah.
Like the other diss records are a little bit more whimsical, I guess you could say, but that is a very specific and blatant.
Yeah, and I just don't think it would have fit in this set list
Yeah.
because of the type of music he was doing. Oh, but I do think it's funny that he said, "Hey, give me Pac's ring back, and then maybe I give you a little respect." I think that's funny. Articles are being written about that one line change. I saw an article today that I ignored, but the headline was Kendrick changes a full verse on Euphoria for the live show. He did not change a full verse, but whatever. Yeah, and listen, man, bringing out Dr. Dre is super cool. I did think he was gonna bring out Snoop. I'm sad he did not bring out Snoop. Many people were speculating why the game was not brought out. Uh,
I
Apparently
heard
the game. I'm sorry.
I heard the game responded to that.
I heard that he did, but I haven't seen it yet. Maybe we could cover it on Monday because I didn't get to see his response yet, so I don't want to misspeak. But that was the speculation. People speculated that game should have been brought out. And people questioned why. Same thing with Snoop. But it seems people are making a bigger deal of the game, possibly because he has records with Drake and he did the Rick Ross diss. Maybe that's why people are speculating so much. But to me, it matters none. I thought it was dope. I expected him to bring out Baby Keem. That's his artist. That's his boy. They have records together, big records together. Um,
So
but
one
he
of those
didn't.
people was not Baby Keem. None of those people that were on stage with him were Baby Keem.
He didn't do any music with Baby Keem.
But
Now,
Baby Keem was there.
what I'm saying is I don't know
Oh,
because at one point so many people were on the stage, which we'll get to. It's possible that Baby Keem was on that stage, but I don't know that to be a fact.
hmm.
So I cannot say yay or nay.
Okay.
But I thought he would bring him out, do some songs because they have songs together.
Mhm.
But he didn't. Um, yeah, I thought it was a dope show. I thought it was nice to see Kendrick knows his lyrics. It was awesome to see the breath control, the show he put on. Smart move of doing this with Amazon so people could see it and stream it because the venue was a smaller venue, only 18,000 people. Reports have come out saying that the waiting list for the tickets was thousands and thousands of people on a wait list that never got their tickets
Sure.
because it sold out so quickly. So I mean, he did the damn thing,
Oh, he killed it.
and then Not Like Us came on.
Well, before we get to Not Like Us, I do just little nuanced things that we're learning after the fact. So he's okay. So I've seen two things on the internet. He was wearing a red hoodie, white tee underneath, um, blue jeans, and Nike Shox. And so there's been a side by side of him and Tupac. Tupac has I believe a performance. I forget where it was, but there's a Tupac performance where Tupac is dressed with that red sweater, and then the same sort of look on the bottom where he's wearing like a windbreaker or something like that. But
Okay.
then there's also a side by side of him and Drake, where Drake is wearing I think it's like a red parka and blue jeans and sneakers, and I want to say it's the Hotline Bling video.
Oh, okay. I
And
don't know.
the comparison. So initially, I saw the Tupac thing. So people were saying that he was paying homage to Tupac, which to me seems very likely. But then, and maybe it's a double entendre. I don't know, because then then people started finding uh the Drake side by side, but the reason people were putting it next to him is because when he did Not Like Us and he gets to a certain part in the song, he's doing Drake's Hotline Bling dance.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
So it's a troll.
I guess so. I mean, the whole thing was a troll.
No, of course the whole thing was a troll, but when he specifically, and I don't know we're gonna get into it, but when he specifically gets to A minor and they stop the music, he's doing Drake's dance.
Got it.
I just thought that was interesting. I mean,
That is interesting. Well, I don't know. I don't know if that's true or not. I didn't see that side by side. I believe you. Uh, maybe it's another way of taking a jab at Drake. Um, Clearly, this performance was to continue to let you know, hey man, we it ain't over, and even if it is over, I'm still gonna keep stomping on you. And he did that. And even if you didn't think he did throughout the whole performance, well, he did Not Like Us, not one time, not two times, not three times, not even four times, five motherfucking times.
now the first couple of times it wasn't the whole song, so it was kind of like, oh, okay, he's messing around a little bit. So when you get to the third time, you're like, oh, this must be the last time he's gonna do it because he does the full song. And then and then he goes, let's bring everybody up on stage. Do it again.
Yep.
And he brings everybody up on stage, which was a historical moment because he was unifying the gangs, and he had the basketball players on the stage. There's also a really funny still image of Savannah Savannah James giving LeBron a face in the audience, and somebody said that was the very moment that Savannah said, "You better not go up on that stage."
Who's Savannah James? His wife?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I don't be knowing these things. But yeah, I could see that.
Yeah, it's funny. I actually think I sent it to you on TikTok, but they, yeah, I just thought it was hilarious because someone had pointed out to me, you see Russell Westbrook on the stage, and you see a couple of the other basketball players, but LeBron, we know LeBron is there, but he's not on stage with everybody else. I don't think he was allowed.
And yeah, you gotta be careful.
I thought that was really funny. But yes, back to Kendrick. Yeah, that fourth time was the pivotal moment because that was when he was like, "All right, everybody, come up and join me."
Right.
Um, so that was super cool. I don't know anything about that world, that life,
I
but
thought it was really cool that he made sure to say this is not about a battle. This moment is not about any of those things. It's not about a song. It's not about a battle. It's about, kind of the resurgence of LA, the unification of LA.
yeah,
Um, and I thought that was really cool. I remember Game did something similar a couple years back. Him and Snoop were walking around doing something similar at one point, excuse me. Um, and then he even mentioned it in a song. He says red and blue flags tied in a knot. Bless him. Um, yeah, I mean, I think things like that are cool. I think things like that are important.
yeah.
And I'll leave it there because this is not a political podcast. Um, but I think the reason we got not like that, not like us 5 times, and I said this to you while it was happening in real time, but I'll say it here as well, is I think this is going to be the main footage of the soon coming Not Like Us video. Kendrick did not announce there's a video coming. I have no evidence, but that is my feeling. I feel like a Not Like Us video is coming. Yes.
I saw something on Instagram today about them filming the Not Like Us video.
Well, there you go.
So
So I
your
think that
so
this,
your your hot take is on par because I don't remember who posted it, but somebody posted about him filming the Not Like Us video.
yeah, I think we got so many angles and so much footage. This will be probably the footage, especially you have once everybody was on stage and he did it that last time. You got everybody dancing and all that stuff. So I think that it makes it easy to make the music video out of that footage. Just being a content creator made me think about it as I was seeing it. I mean, we got like 4 different angles of him doing wop 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 wop.
Yep, he whopped it all right.
Yes, he did. I mean, I just think that it would be foolish not to use this footage. You've got so much of it and so many angles. As a person who creates content, I was thinking about that as I was watching it in real time. I'm like, oh, this is way too easy to use this 4K footage.
Yeah, I agree. I mean,
But
there were plenty of drones and all kinds of things in there that
exactly.
they were using because even just what we saw was really cool and it was in real time. So imagine what they could do
Right.
when they actually are able to cut it and play with the effects and things like that. So um yeah, I don't put it past them at all. I think your hot take is probably accurate, or at the very least, they're going to use the footage for something, some sort of visual project.
Yep.
Um, the fifth time he did it was by request, which I thought was really cute, and this was probably my favorite part of the whole Not Like Us thing. I mean, the first time he did it and he did wop 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 wop. Just him. he's a very he's a very physical artist.
What does that mean?
What I mean is he like dances to his music. He gets he puts his body into it. Not every person who makes hip hop does that.
Okay,
Um
I understand.
so that's what I mean when I say kind of like when they say you're like you know you're like physical comedy, you're actually using your body to be
Yes,
funny. Um yeah, I just feel like he's a very physical artist. Like he puts his body into it. He does his little movements, and you know he's done choreographed sets and things like that. It wasn't that this time, but um, so I I just thought I'm just so entertained by that. But the fifth time was by request, and it made me chuckle when he went. Y'all really want to hear it again? There is also something I don't know. I'm not him and I don't know him, but there's got to be something gratifying about creating something that people can listen to in succession like that and
oh yeah,
not
of
grow
course,
tired.
of course.
There's got to be so much gratification in that. People were because people didn't come up on stage with him until the fourth time he did it. And people were dancing, or the third time. It was like between the third and the fourth time, but people were dancing to have a good time like it was the first time they heard the song.
That's the kind of song it is.
Yes. And I mean, we knew, I think when the song came out, we felt like, oh, this is going to be a song of the summer. Like, this is so catchy. Like, you know, he basically killed two birds with one stone. Drake and then just, you know, like music for the summer. This was just mind blowing to me to watch, and really exciting for me to watch. And I also like the fact that we're paying attention to someone else right now because Drake does end up being the center of attention a lot. And so I think this is super cool. This is dope. He was salty and in his feelings. I saw him posting after the show. Just wanted to point that out. But yeah, I thought this was great. I thought this was great. This is a performance. This kind of reminds me of like when Beyonce did Homecoming. It's something you could keep watching over and over and over again. Or like J. Cole's Rolling Loud performance.
Yeah,
I could watch that any day of the week. That was this for me. I thought this was incredible. The whole thing from beginning to end. I enjoyed it.
yeah, it was great. I agree.